the first step of this long journey. Call from the national camp. You packed. You are a hero of your school. You're going for the camp, and I joined the national camp. But things changed because the equipment what I'm using was not up to that mark. I'm only using, I just had 1 or 2 jerseys which I used to wear in Jivraja Sports School. And the language is totally different. Nobody speaks Malayalam. Less people understand English, and most of them speak Hindi. And you know that Kerala, we don't speak Hindi much. We learn Hindi, but we don't speak Hindi much. But I can understand things, but speaking was a bit tough thing for me. But अभी मेरा हिंदी बहुत अच्छा है क्योंकि पिछले 20 साल से ये लोगों को संभाल रहा हूँ, तो हिंदी सीखना ही पड़ेगा आपको. Then it was struggling weeks. It's quite hard for you to communicate with your teammates, your roommates. Then again, understand the coach because coach also speak in Hindi. Then automatically there are a lot of bullies happens those times because they always point out your equipments. They always point out the brands which you use. Somewhere that drained me out. That I started to think like just quitting. It's a pity time for anyone because it's not, nobody is comparing your performance. Everyone is comparing you with the equipments what you wear or the equipments what you carry. So that was a tough period. Then thanks to a couple of South Indian friends, you can name them, so Raghu, Raja, Sunil, Senthil, Vikram, they were all there with me in my first camp, which held it in Patiala. And then again I started to learn some Tamil. Ipo enakku Tamil nalla theriyum. So see, this is how you learn things. Tamil, Hindi, some sort of Punjabis, then English definitely. Now all the foreign coaches are influencing you, so you need to learn English as well. And that's the journey started in the juniors team. And thanks to my dad, the equipments helped me a lot. When you are pain-free, you get more confidence. Every goalkeepers know that. Latest equipments will help you to, save the balls and stand tall in front of that goal post. Even in the sub-junior or junior phase was not easy because I didn't get anything overnight. I waited. So I attended my first camp in 2002. I waited almost 2 years to get my first jersey, the first debut. That was in 2004. I played one test match against Australia, so that was my first tournament. So the camp was in Chandigarh, and we were all there. So we had a meeting, and coach said, "Sree, you are in the team." Wow, that real dream comes true. And they announced the team. After a few days, they handed over the jerseys. The first Indian jersey that comes like Sahara, India, and behind Sreejesh. Something's like special. And that the best part of my life is I took that jersey, I just ran into the toilet because in my room there were no mirror, and I just took the jersey, I just hold it like this, I turned it, I hold it like this again. I just get that feel that you made it. From Kirakambalam to that Indian jersey, that journey was like, okay, it was not that sweet, but it was tough, but I made it. And I wore it, and I just stand there for, I stared myself for long, and I called on my dad and said, "Dad, I got my first jersey." So the smile, the happiness didn't last long because Australia is waiting for me. Saying kid traveling to Australia with a lot of dreams, not dreams, it's over to that. Over to the dreams. I just landed in Australia. We played 5 matches. And that Australians are like, they are ruthless. They can kill you. They just want to prove that they are better. And they showed it. The first match we lost like 6 goals, 6-0. It's like, oh God. I can feel that. When I close my eyes, I can see the first goal on right top, second goal on right down, third goal on left down, fourth goal on left top. They score everywhere. That's put me into some self-doubts. Am I good enough? Or did I choose the wrong sport? or did I do something wrong, or I need to work hard? Thanks to Ramandeep sir, who was my coach, who trusted me, who made me play again. I played all the games, and in that 5 series, 3 we lost and 2 we won, and that was a great experience. The Perth became a second home for me after that, because I played more than 50 or 75 matches there on that particular game, particular pitch, and yeah, that's given me a great lesson in my life, because that taught me that goalkeeping is a responsible job. Because if you concede one goal, anyone's mistakes, if your mistakes or your teammates' mistakes, if you concede one goal, that shows on the score line, and it shows that India won down. It never shows that Sreejesh won down. The lessons which I learned from Australia helped me to become a better goalkeeper in my junior level. When I got back into India, I started to work really hard, because I know that it's not an easy job. It's not a cakewalk to play for your country. It's a real business. From 2004, another 2 years was tough, work hard, and Harinder sir came into the role. When he visited Kerala, I met him. My coaches introduced me to him, and he said, "Sreejesh, you just join us in the junior squad, which preparing for the Junior World Cup." And the team were preparing for the 2004 Junior Asia Cup, and I joined them. And then I realized, okay, what is the real junior team is like. And they were like dashing, the speedy game, skillful game, the hockeys, they are taking the hockey to the next level. And I trained with them. The Junior Asia Cup won, and I was not a part of the team, but I was part of the core group, and I trained with them for another 2 years. Over the period, he gave me chances. I made it to the team, and 2005, I played the Junior World Cup alongside with Edwin D'Souza and all the other legendary players. From there, the journey went smooth. I sailed it in a nice way. I was part of the junior team, but somehow I made it to the senior team as well, because 2006, SAF Games is always treated as a platform for youngsters to perform, and that's how I made it to my senior team in 2006. Sri Lanka, in Colombo, we played the SAF Games, and there I met the first tragic moments, the final against Pakistan. Pakistan is not an easy team to play as a kid, definitely, because you're playing the senior level tournament and you beat them in the league rounds, definitely, but in the finals, when you are meeting them, it's totally different. Then I found the real world of hockey, because the final was like, it's a normal match, but for the world, it's a different match, because India-Pakistan, that's the emotions, that's all comes behind that match. It's really different. And throughout the tournament, the stands were empty. We were playing, we were having fun times. We thrashed almost all the teams. And when we stepped in for that finals, unexpectedly, the stadium was full. The ground and the stadium got one side and it was full, and the other side was filled with all the fans. And I thought, okay, they're all Indian fans and supporting for us. But I was wrong. They were all there to support Pakistan. And there were like 20-30 people standing behind my goalpost. And from the first whistle, they started to abuse me. I was like 18, 19 that time. I was like shaken. The first incident, like, okay, what should I do now? Because we are all playing against Pakistan. It's a final. And these people abusing us. And a young kid was like, blank. We lost. And that was like a big setback. I mean, you realize what all things can happen after that. That there are talks, blaming. People says that you considered that bad goal. Because of you, we lost. So that pinpoint things always hurt. That's how sports is. Sometimes it's become real cruel. But that was hard to accept, to digest that defeat against Pakistan. But when I got back, I joined my junior team again. Then took another 2 more years. We forgot about everything. I just moved on with my junior team. We played a lot of tournaments, and last which I played was like Junior Asia Cup in Hyderabad, and I judged as the best goalkeeper in there. From there, I matured as a real goalkeeper, and I joined the senior team in 2008. Again, I started to wait because during that time, Adrian, Bharchetri, Baljit, these were the stars of Indian goalkeeping. Then I joined them as a fourth goalkeeper. I started my journey with them. Then, unfortunately, an incident happened. Baljit Bhai got an eye injury during our training session, and Jose Brasa, the coach, chose me as the second option, and I made my real entry into the team in 2008 for a European trip. So every trip with the senior team was a lesson for me. Most of the time I sat outside watching Adrian to play, watching Bharchetri to play, and I learned from them, because goalkeepers' journeys are like that. You never step on the field and learn. You sit outside, you watch, you learn, and when you get an opportunity, you use those experience and you shape yourself as the best goalkeeper. That's how the journeys happens. I got chances, I concede goals, I made saves. It's all become an asset to me, and it's all sharpened my skills. And in 2010, when we played the World Cup in Delhi, the coach made a big call. The first match against Pakistan, and you know that Pakistan is lining up with Shoaib Abbas, the world's best track flicker during that time. And coach said, Sri, you know what? They're all planning for Adrian D'Souza, and we are going to confuse them. In the previous night team meeting, coach said, Sri, you are going to start the game. That was fun. I was like, what? No way. Because the previous incident, 2006, it's always bounce back. Okay, you are not good enough. You concede goals. These all things will pop up into your mind. When coach said, we are playing Pakistan in India, that's also in Delhi. That stadium looks huge, more than 20,000 people. You can't say anything to coach. He said, hi coach. I said, okay, no problem coach. I hide all my fear. And I said, okay, good. When I stepped on that field, it's like blank. It's like, and sounds comes. And over to that, India. And you know that all the slogans for India. And I stepped in, I feel like, okay, I'm flying now, but I don't know what to do. I started my warm-up. We were playing good. We scored. They got penalty corners. I was like, what do I do now? Because Shoaib Abbas is the man standing opposite to me. First flick, tongue on the crossbar. Secondly, tongue on the sidebar. I was like, okay, my lucky days, because otherwise the goalkeeping careers ends there itself. That's full stop. I think they got 5 penalty corners, and he scored once. He flicked one out, 3 hit on the bars, and we won that match. That was the best experience. Starts there. And the World Cup, during the World Cup, I got injured. I stepped out, and we finished top 8. That's it. And the journey continues. And 2011, I think, that's a year, I think, which everything mean for me. The first Asian Champions Trophy. So we always say goalkeepers hide their face behind that mask, and people never recognize you with your face. You know, they always recognize you with their gear or helmet. That's the tournament which helped Sreejesh to come out from that mask. The shootout, the final shootout against Pakistan. Sometimes I always feel that Pakistan got a real role in my life, my journey, my legacy, because they helped me to become a real champion in front of my people. 2011, Asian Champions Trophy, Bharchetri, the goalkeeper, was a captain. We had a very nice tournament. We reached in the finals. We are playing against Pakistan. Thanks to Michael Knobs, he chose me to beyond the goalpost over Bharchatri, and we played the tournament. We played the finals against them, and the match ended up in the shootouts. Again, lucky. I always call this lucky saves. I become the star of that shootouts. We won the tournament, and in India, people started to recognize me.